Are your thoughts your own? How do you view yourself? How does the world view you? We're going to cover this and more in episode 6. I'm Sharice.
I'm Jay.
Let's twin into it.
It's the Twin Tapes. We just made you do a double take.
Double take.
It's the Twin Tapes, and we sitting at a table for two.
Welcome back, Twin Tapes Tribe.
Welcome back.
I hope last week wasn't too scary for y'all. I really hope that everybody's recovering from the fright that we gave you.
I hope you're recovering, Sharice. Are you good?
Honestly,
Are
we okay?
Hey, are we okay? What the fuck is this?
Are we okay?
I'm about at a 98 right now. I
Okay.
think at the conclusion of this episode, I'll be perfect.
Good. Okay.
But welcome back. Thanks for rocking with us. I hope you really enjoyed episode 4 and 5. We had a blast.
Recording it.
we just had a good time. So you know what, everybody? Happy Friday. Let's twin into it.
Let's go.
Again, I am Sharice.
Again, I am not Sharice.
And y'all already know you're listening to the
Twin
Twin
Tapes.
Tapes. I just realized that you said, I'm not Sharice. Yo, you stupid. Who are you? Who are you if you're not Sharice? Who are you?
King Julian.
What I
No, I'm Jay. I'm Jay, guys.
Jay.
I hope y'all know that.
Welcome, Jay. Welcome. But today we're going to be talking about
Perception. That's right. Perception.
Hashtag twinning. Jay, what comes to mind when you think of perception?
Well, when I hear perception, I automatically think of interpretation.
Okay.
Elaborate
a little bit.
Right. So when I hear perception, I think of interpretation. And that also reminds me of perspective too. Which is the view in which we observe. So when I hear perception, I just think of the lens in which we interpret information.
That actually very much leads into what I think of when I think of perception.
Okay.
Because despite the fact that I think of Inception when I think of perception, the movie with the dream and the dream and the dream and the dream, just because they sound the same. When I think of perception, I think about literally a magnifying glass and different people holding it.
Ah, yeah.
That's what I think.
That because that's basically what it is.
Mm-hmm. So that's funny that you said lens.
Right.
Because
you literally think of
a magnifying glass is a lens.
Yes.
In a sense.
It is.
Yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah. A magnifying lens.
Yes.
That's actually what it is.
In which we observe.
See? In which we observe. Wow.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
In which we observe, in which we interpret information.
Not us having the same initial reaction of perception.
I mean,
not
is
us
there
having the same perception of perception.
Whoa.
Can I get a hot dog? But, okay, so you think this, I think that.
Mm-hmm.
What is it really?
Okay,
Let the
so
folks know.
according to Google's definition of perception is a way of regarding, understanding, or interpreting something.
Hey, just like you said.
Right.
Interpreting.
A mental impression.
A mental impression.
Yep.
I like that.
Because it's accurate.
Yeah.
It's accurate.
Mental impression.
Because everybody interprets information differently.
100%.
That's the thing.
Yes, for a fact.
Yeah.
Hey, I said it previously in I believe it was episode 1.
What?
Everybody's a snowflake, okay?
Yeah. Was it 1?
We're all different.
It was something.
Maybe it wasn't episode
I think it was
1.
2.
Yeah. Listen to the podcast, okay?
Yeah.
But we're all different. So we're all going to regard things differently. We're going to interpret things differently. We're going to analyze things differently.
We're going to understand things differently.
100%.
Yeah.
So, okay. In regards to perception, how do you see yourself, Jay, co-host of the Twin Tapes?
Well, we're just laying it bare, aren't we?
Let's get it. Let's twin into it.
Full transparency. Okay, how do I see myself?
Deep dive.
The view of myself has gained some confidence.
Okay. So it has changed over the years.
It's most definitely have changed. If it hasn't, I feel like that would I don't know. I feel like that'd be a plateau. However, I see myself as one who is in tune with himself.
Okay.
I wasn't always. I've built myself up to be more aware of myself.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
For that.
Thank you.
Takes courage, drive, a little bit of skill as well.
A little bit of skill.
Congratulations.
Congratulations for that.
Appreciate
No
that.
cap either.
No. I appreciate that. Yeah. I definitely look at myself as one who is determined to achieve his goals. And I'm on a relentless pursuit towards doing that.
A pursuit of happiness.
Happiness, if you will. Wild.
Twinning.
Wild.
God, twinning.
But what about you? How do you see yourself?
I share, like I've said it multiple times, a similar sentiment.
Okay.
I'm just like you, in pursuit of your goals to reach them. I'm very much a go-getter as well.
You very much are.
I see myself as a person who goes and gets, literally. I see myself as just a happy, fun, positive person. In a long story short, that's how I see myself.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna ask myself this question.
Yeah.
I do think that impacts me. If we're talking about the impact your self-perception has, I 100% believe that the way I view myself impacts me. It impacts,
In what way?
It impacts my daily ventures. It impacts my work. It impacts my social interactions.
Nice.
Because I'm positive and I'm fun and I really am just here to have a good time. I told y'all that in the first episode.
You did.
I'm here for a good time.
Right.
I'm down to clown. That's what I said verbatim. That shows up when I work with students and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so cool, you're so fun."
Yeah.
My colleagues share the same sentiment. Like, it definitely has an impact on how I do business.
Yeah.
How I interact with people.
You can see it written all over you.
Yeah. You can see it on my face. So I'm definitely told like I'm like a ray of sunshine. I'm like this big beaming light, and but I am that. So that's how I see myself.
Right.
And that's
And
also
it
how
translates.
and because I see myself as that, it impacts what I do.
Right.
And outwardly projects onto my life.
Right.
So what about you? Does your self-perception impact you in any way?
It actually does. When I was listening to you talk, I'm thinking about myself,
Right.
of course, and how I see myself and the impact that it holds in my life. And I am different than you in the way where you very much are a go-getter. Not to say that I'm not a go-getter, but you are naturally a go-getter. I'm more of a
Learned, practiced go-getter.
a practice go-getter.
Okay.
Like, Jay, come on already. Whereas you,
Let's get this bread.
right? Whereas you are just like, well, of course,
Yeah.
duh.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way, duh. And I'm just like weighing the pros and the cons and taking a long time to make a decision.
Calculated decision.
Yeah, to make
Which
a calculated.
is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but
It makes you.
yes, but that is something I'm working on though. Just becoming a quicker decision maker.
Okay.
There's just no reason to be. I don't know. Right, but yes, the way I see myself does impact me because sometimes I see myself as I want to take a plunge with certain things, but I don't. There's a little bit of hesitancy, and that definitely translates with, I guess, what am I trying to say?
No. So you see yourself as a go-getter,
Right.
but really it impacts you because you know you're not, in a way.
I see myself as a go-getter, but it impacts me because I know I'm not.
Like you're saying
Yes.
there's some hesitancy there.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you're saying I'm putting myself at this high pedestal, but in reality, it's
Right.
not that high.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like I see myself as this. It's at the top. Let's just give it a scale from 1 to 10. I see myself at an 8. But when I'm in practice,
Right.
and
Right.
doing
In practice, like the
it's about a
workflow,
6.
really, yeah.
or a 5, or
it's,
however,
it's not up to par with where
how you see yourself.
It's
Or-
yes.
Yeah.
In the sense where I want to be that 10, so to speak, but I'm still at level 7.
Okay, so maybe we have goals and dreams and aspirations, and we think we're already there. So we see ourselves as being at the top.
No, I mean, not really. It's
Okay.
more so like, all right, I want to get to number 10.
Got it. So you see yourself at 10.
Right. Like that is the aim,
Got
to
it.
be that number 10. But in reality, I'm still operating at a 7.
Got it. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
Well, all right. Let's go in a different direction. How do you think others view you? So we already know
That
how you view yourself.
that's very that's very interesting. When I was young, people would always say like, "Why are you so serious?" I used to get that all the time.
Are you the Joker?
Why?
Jay, why are you so serious? Are you angry?
And I'm just not talking.
Right.
I'm just not talking. I'm
God,
not
that's-
serious. I'm just not saying anything.
You didn't even utter a peep.
I didn't even utter a peep. So I used to, but I used to get that all the time. Like, oh, you're very serious. You seem. I got one time. I got intimidating one time. Intimidating.
It's giving very much
But
blackmail.
no, but it was from a girl. Like she wanted to talk to me.
Okay.
And she just seemed like, oh, but
so
I was intimidated. Yeah. And I'm like, but I'm not talking. It's always been, but I didn't say anything. So, but yeah, that's the view that I get from other people.
Okay, what about now? You said that was back then.
Okay, all right,
What
right.
about now? That's
now,
good,
now,
yeah. How do you think others view you now?
how do I think? Good question. I don't really think about that now.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a good question.
Hey,
How do
nobody
I
said.
how do
about
I
it.
think other people view me now?
Yeah.
Probably not calculated,
Okay.
but articulate, I would say. I've gotten that. Witty. I get that from my coworkers a lot.
Well, you are witty.
I am witty.
Yeah, you are. You're definitely witty.
Yeah. Those are
Cool.
the two that are coming to mind now, especially
Those are-
since I don't think about that too much.
Those are two good things to think of.
Oh,
How others view
absolutely.
you,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. It's definitely not a bad thing.
Yeah.
What about you?
So if we're starting from childhood to now,
Mm-hmm.
I was mean as a kid
That's what?
all the time.
All the time? Wait, this is something I didn't know. I didn't
got-
know that. I didn't know.
Trace, you're mean. Oh,
What?
you're mean. Oh my god,
What?
you're so mean. Mean all the time. How? Me? Little freaking ray of sunshine? Don't know. It's because
Yo,
I have
that's crazy.
a loud, prominent voice.
Yeah.
And I speak a lot.
Mhm.
So that I think was intimidating people.
Well, first of all, that's a whole nother
Right,
podcast
right, right.
because no, seriously, because people are intimidated by confidence.
Yes. And that's what it was.
100%.
I'm glad you said that.
People
Because
are.
That's not the word that I was going to say,
Mm-hmm.
but that's 100% it.
That's it.
I was just a confident little kid.
Because the reality is most people are not confident.
Right.
So you see someone who's so confident and comfortable in their own skin, which a lot of people aren't, even in adulthood.
Right.
It's like What does this person think they are?
Mhm.
Why are you acting like
Mean
that?
and bossy.
That's crazy.
Because I was, just friendly. I talked a lot.
Right.
So.
But you also bossy. So like obviously I didn't know that until you just said that now. But the only thing that I can think of as to why people thought you were bossy is because you are naturally a leader.
Right.
So when you have a little kid that is confidently leading
right.
the group
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
but not commanding the group, just being a leader, just someone in the forefront, that could 100% be interpreted as bossy
Listen.
in
now
a
that-
child's eyes,
That
of course.
definitely impacted me.
In what way? Negatively?
Yeah.
Mm.
I always felt like, oh my gosh, like why do people think I'm mean?
Right.
I could not understand it.
Yeah, that's
I could not understand why people thought I was mean, cause I wasn't.
right.
Anywho, that was not that I think, I know others viewed me as mean and bossy, but now currently I would kind of say what I said. I think others view me as
Just positive and
I think others view me as motivating.
very,
sure.
very.
And I think others
And
view me
motivated.
as real,
Mhm.
authentic, genuine.
Authentic.
Yeah, I think those are two things that people view me now as an adult.
Now, interesting question.
Okay.
As you were talking, I was thinking, well, that's how I view you too.
Oh,
Yeah.
as
Motivated.
motivated.
I view you. So this is how I
Okay.
view you. I view you as extremely self-driven.
Okay.
100% the definition of a go-getter.
Okay.
You are the definition of manifestation in my eyes. Just seriously, like anything.
I'm about to cry, y'all.
Like
Let me get a tissue.
and anything you say you're gonna do, like you actually do it. Like
I
it
try
ain't
my
just
best.
talk.
It's because talk is cheap.
It ain't just talk.
Well, thanks, Jay.
Yeah, that is how I view you.
I view you as smart, smarter than you know.
Ah.
I also view you as calculated.
Mm-hmm.
And
I am. That's interesting.
consistent
Mm-hmm.
and persistent.
Yes.
Those are that's how I view you.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, for sure. The Twin Tapes. This is the Twin Tapes uncut. Twin Tapes
Raw.
raw. Okay, but yeah. So okay. We both spoke about what do we think others view of us in the past and the present.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how can we know for sure what others think of us?
Simple. We can't. What's
I
up?
disagree.
What's up? Tell me.
You can ask them.
Well,
What do you think of me?
duh.
You can-
Of course.
Okay, but it's not obvious. You can if you want to know what someone thinks of you, how they perceive you, you can ask. But that
Yeah,
first of
you
all,
open
if
your
it's not-
goddamn mouth.
All right, but I'm saying like if you want to do it seriously, like
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing it to like improve upon yourself,
Yeah.
that takes courage. To be like,
Of course.
hey, come here real quick. What do you think of me?
Mhm.
That takes courage. And personally, you can know what others think of you by doing a team building exercise. I do a team sport. I mentioned before that I'm a cheerleader. I have been cheerleading my whole entire life. We do team bonding exercise and team building exercises all the time. We also
Like,
used to
what
do
does
them,
that consist of?
right? And I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, okay.
We used to do them at work when I was in college as student leaders. We used to do team building exercise where literally an exercise comes to mind that I did when I was in college. You have a piece of paper.
Yep.
Everybody has a piece of paper attached to their back. Everybody around the room goes and writes things about the person. And they
Oh.
have no idea because it's on their
Interesting.
back.
Right.
And you turn around. That's exactly people's perception of you.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a team builder.
That's great.
I remember one of my staffs that I was on, we did that, I believe like my sophomore year of college.
Dope.
And I loved it so much, I brought it back into the gym that I coach at and had one of the other teams do it. And the girls really seemed to like it.
I mean, that's a fire exercise.
Yeah, and it's
I've
just
never done
like-
any team building anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, a lot of workplaces now, like professional workplaces.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about college, even though that's still
Professional.
still experience.
Yep, in its own right.
But I think professional work environment should do that too. But especially
100%.
for cheerleading being such a team sport, that's always nice to know, you know, what your teammates really think of you, what your colleagues really think of you. It's so nice, and everybody just has such great things to say, you know?
But and then it's just like it's just a fair gauge of who you are, because you could perception. You can think of yourself as one way, but that is not what's translated at all.
Right. Right. And I think that literally leads into the next question. Like, okay, we just asked, how can we know what others think of us?
Right.
We can straight up ask them, or they can tell us.
Or they can tell us.
Does this matter, though? Does others' view of you matter? Is that important?
The thing is, it's not a clear-cut answer.
Right.
It's not just a yes, and it's not just a not at all.
I agree.
Because the reality of the situation is some people need to be told about themselves. If you are engaged, what's up?
I have a perfect example of people that need to be told about themselves. Let's take an episode of That's So Raven.
Okay.
The episode where Ben stunk. You know which episode I'm talking about,
Of course
right?
I know what episode you're talking
Yo,
about.
this kid, one, didn't think he stunk. And two, nobody wanted to tell him.
Right.
But that's something important
Right.
that you need to know.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting at. Like
Yeah.
it to a certain extent, it is important to know what people think about you, whether you realize it or not, because you may not be aware of what you're doing and how it's impacting people.
And then on the other hand, I would say, you know, what people think of you shouldn't matter, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If people, you know, at 8 are calling you mean and bossy when you're straight up not.
Right.
You know, like just like you said, it's a mix.
It's a mix
of yes or no.
And it's conditional, because I don't need to know irrelevant things, and it's more so, all right, for example, one of my friends had a college experience, and she was dorming with some roommates, and one of the roommates would just leave a tornado. She was just a slob, just messy. I would go to their room sometimes, just a complete mess. And I first thought to myself, I was like, I wonder if she's an only child.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get on me about only children, but I really asked that because, I mean, naturally, only children sometimes are not aware of their behavior just because they've never had anybody to check them.
Mm-hmm.
You never had a sibling to check you. Anyway, I say all that to say, I was like, you should tell your roommate about herself, because I don't even know if she's doing this intentionally.
I don't even know if these girls bother at these points.
So she did, and there was an immediate change after that. And it was simply because she was not aware of her behavior. There's no good reason why you're going into the bathroom and the sink is wet, the floor is wet, and the mirror is wet. What are you doing? But maybe you're
splashing water on the sink mirror in the floor.
Right.
That's
but
what you're doing.
But if you're doing your little routine in the bathroom and then you're dipping, you're not checking yourself. You're not looking after yourself or cleaning up after yourself. You just don't know. So I say that to say, like, yeah, in an instance like that, yes, that person does need to know what I think of them, what you think of them.
And that leads right into our next topic. Is having a healthy knowledge of others' perceptions of you good? Or should you know nothing at all and not care? Or know everything at all and not care?
What do you say?
I think you should have a healthy knowledge of others' perceptions of you. A healthy knowledge. Now, healthy is relative,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's good for you. to know, that's so Raven example. If he would have known that people think he stinks, he probably would have literally cleaned up his act a little sooner. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you having body odor is a problem
It's
for
a
the
problem.
spaces you enter.
100%.
That knowledge would have done him a lot good, you know?
A lot.
So I think it's important to have a healthy knowledge of others, people's perceptions of us.
It's 100% important, and that's my answer too, because in this case, ignorance is not bliss.
Yeah.
Ignorance isn't bliss.
Yeah, let's ignore the year-old saying, right?
Yeah, you know.
Century-year-old saying.
Yeah. Ignorance is bliss. Not when it comes to perception.
Yeah.
Not really. I think it is important to know what other people think about you, but not to the point where, okay, now you don't have an original thought, right? Now you don't have any thoughts of your own because you're so worried about, oh, this person thinks I'm bossy. So, well, no, have a mind of your own.
Mm-hmm.
But
So I must be bossy.
Right. And why am I like this? And now you're changing your whole character when really, okay, one person's opinion is completely tainting the image that you hold over yourself. Like, no, we shouldn't let it affect us that much, but it is nice to know what people are thinking just so you can be a little more aware of yourself, because you don't know what you don't know. And just like what I was talking about before, you may think that you're an angel, and you're not, and or at least that's not what other people think, because that's not what other people see. That's not the vibe that other people are picking up.
And I think when you cherish people's opinions of you, you lose power of yourself.
Yes.
The more you start to believe other people's opinions of you, you wash away, and now you're those people.
Right. Yeah. And then it's like
it's each percentage. Like, okay, I'm believing 10% of what I hear. Now 20%. Now I'm not there anymore.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
now the thoughts that you have in your head, they're not your original thinking.
Right.
And then that come on. That's crazy. Now you care so much about what other people think that, no, seriously, like, you're changing who you are entirely just to try to adapt so that they can
other people.
For other people's
So they can feel
perspective and
comfortable?
perception of you? No. That's crazy.
That just made me frown up.
And that concept right there kind of reminds me of a concept that I learned in college, in one of my sociology classes. It loosely relates, but it's a concept called stereotype threat. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
In your words, what do you think it is?
And I have a freaking sociology minor. Yikes! Stereotype threat. I'm going based off of my knowledge as a quarter lifer.
Right. Okay.
The things that people think about you, right? The preconceived notions people have about you are threatening and infringing upon you. How you act, how you behave, how you maneuver.
Sort of. You're on the right track.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you the actual definition. Then I'm gonna put it in layman's terms.
Please,
All right.
please
So
I love to learn.
The definition of stereotype threat is a socially premised psychological threat that arises when one is in a situation or doing something for which a negative stereotype about one's group applies. So the layman's terms is, let's use a real example.
Yeah.
Real life example. I'm walking down the street. I'm black. I know that some people look at me and are intimidated for no other reason than me being black.
100%.
So now I'm going...
And a male, specifically.
And a male.
Specifically.
So before I even walk out into the street, I might take my hood off. Because I actually do that sometimes too. No lie. I'll take my hood off. I will try to appear to look less threatening because I'm going into the situation already thinking that
People
the
are threatened.
stereotype, but the stereotype is going to be applied to me.
Right.
that is what stereotype threat is.
Okay.
So that kind of relates to perception to me as well.
It very much does.
Yeah.
Because you're internalizing this stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
You are putting the stereotype. That's how you perceive yourself.
Yeah.
That's how you see yourself.
Exactly.
As
a threat to others.
As
Right.
a black man, right? You would think you're a threat to others because that's a stereotype.
Right.
And you're
But
internalizing
it's more so like, this is what I think other people think of me. So
Right.
so not even necessarily I think I'm a threat to others.
Right.
I know I'm not a threat to others.
Right.
But it's more so you're right. I'm going into a situation where I'm thinking that people are thinking that I'm threatening
Yes.
because of the stereotype that's placed on me
100%.
off the bat.
Great analogy.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I love that.
Yeah, that kind of when we were talking about this concept, I'm like, oh yeah, that reminds me of stereotype threat.
Because it very much does relate.
Right. Because I do feel that way sometimes.
Listen, we gotta send y'all out for some motivation. It got dark.
But
Got a little heavy. My chest is, it's heavy.
it's all right though.
But it's okay because listen, that's life.
That's life.
Life is not always nice and friendly and bubbly like me, right? So
No, life is rude and bossy and mean, like you.
right, right. But some motivation to head off with. It's just, I feel like, just be yourself, and it doesn't matter what people think. It does not matter what people think of you. While in a certain sector or a
Right.
certain area,
Right.
it's good to have a healthy knowledge of what people think of you.
Right.
In the grand scheme, it don't matter.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It don't matter.
Because
so you gotta
to
do
what
you.
to what cost does it really pay off knowing what Jessica thinks about me or what Sally thinks about me? None.
Mm-hmm.
None.
Or Fred or Joe or Susie.
Right. Especially if it's something irrelevant that's not even true to your character, it's useless.
Also, you know yourself the best.
Exactly.
You know you.
You
are
know
the
your
only
heart.
one who knows you 100%.
You know your heart, you know your own intentions, and you don't have to try to prove it to anyone or try to adapt your character like a freaking chameleon so that other people are more comfortable with you.
Not a chameleon.
I mean, ain't that what they do?
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
They do. And just do you. Literally.
Literally.
Do you. That's the sauce, that's the tea, that's the juice.
So
for
what's
y'all.
So that's the double verdict.
That is the double verdict.
That's the double verdict.
The motivation we just gave y'all is the double verdict for today's episode. Be yourself. Be authentic. Doesn't matter what anybody says about you.
That's great. Be authentic. Be authentic. Be authentic to you.
Because
People love authenticity.
when you are your true self, people will feel the same around you and will give that right back to you.
Yes. They'll feel comfortable being themselves.
Period.
They will feel
When
comfortable
you
being themselves.
Are authentic and true to you, people will feel that and give that right back to you and them.
100%.
Huh. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Thank you for listening to episode 6. Please check out episodes 1 through 5. Okay, we have a lot of content for y'all. We got some more coming out. And on that note, we will catch you on the flippity flip.
Peace.
If you're enjoying the Twin Tapes, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube and follow our page on Anchor. Honestly, just tell a friend to tell a friend.
It's the Twin Tapes. We just made you do a double take.
Double take.
It's the Twin Tapes. And we sitting at a table for two.